it's your local gay sexual edge master Challa here to bring you another exaggerated story time.
Being edgy on the art side of YouTube is easy, because generally speaking no one really has a life and just sits inside all day drawing to cope for whatever mental illness they have. But I wasn't always this edgy. This story is about the origins of the edge. This story took place on the first day after my 17th birthday. Emo Challa is now history. I had recently received a haircut and it was very short now, much more of a suitable look for the upcoming events. But before I get into that, I need to give a little bit of backstory. When I was in middle school, in around the 6th grade, our class started splitting into two groups. The edgy kids and the normal kids. The edgies started experimenting with alcohol and smoking, sex, parties, and other cool preteen activities. There wasn't like too much of it in the 6th grade, but by the time of the 7th, it had completely kicked off. You might be thinking that's a little early for starting doing shit like that, but there was even a kid in my class in the 3rd grade who was addicted to smoking and was generally fucked in the head already. He took some fucking leeches inside a Sprite bottle to school at once. Anyway, believe it or not, I was actually not a part of the edges in middle school. I swore to God that I'd never drink alcohol, smoke, or vape, or do drugs, anything ever, along with the other normal kids. We just found the edgies pretty fucking stupid. We just thought they mindlessly drank, partied, and puked every weekend. But nonetheless, we were still friends at school. We didn't hate them or anything like that. We just didn't find their activities outside of school very intelligent. They also stopped bragging about their cool, dangerous lives after a while, and we didn't have to hear about it anymore, so we just kind of stopped caring about it completely, and we were just normal friends. I actually stayed true to the normal kids until the second day of being 17. So right after my 17th birthday. It was summer vacation and I had just finished my first year in high school. For some reason the edgies from my middle school class wanted to host a fucking class reunion already. Only 1 year after graduation, so it was bound to fail from the start. I think the only reason they wanted to do it at all was to just drink with the old edgies once more and not to actually see the old classmates. They probably knew that not a lot of people would show up, especially the ones that weren't a part of their group in middle school. They planned to host it in a camping site in the woods right next to a beach. And that actually seemed pretty cool to me because I had actually been to that beach many times before and I knew the area pretty well. It was very close to my mom's summer house / cottage where I had spent a lot of time on summer vacations before with the family. But I didn't mention that to anyone though. I just thought, fuck it, I don't have much of a social life going on anyways, so this could be refreshing maybe. It was refreshing, but in a very different way from what I expected from a class reunion. In the end, only 7 people, and that's also including me, said they're coming. And man, it was an interesting selection of people, alright. There were 2 party-addicted dudes that organized the whole thing, who were also the pioneers of the edgy activities in middle school. There was one actually cool normal dude with them as well. It was like borderline edgy. There was a straight-edge Christian girl, a socially awkward lesbian girl, and the little bitchy Russian girl that everyone hated because her ego was just through the fucking roof. It was so high. So the day of the
class reunion
arrives, and I meet up with the Christian girl and the lesbian to take a bus to the location. The other 3 dudes were gonna get there by car. They had to transport illegal booze since we were all minors at the time. One of them paid his older brother to be a driver for their alcohol transportation, heading in the right direction in life. The Russian girl was gonna come there in the evening later on, so I was just left with the Christian and the lesbian. I was also the only one there who was never at any point been a part of the edgy kids in middle school. I had never been drunk before. Even the Christian girl was a cool teen once. She just decided to become straight edge at one point, and a Christian shortly after that. Damn, dude, some fucking dark shit must have happened. Anyway, I didn't want anyone to know about how inexperienced I was, so I just stayed silent about it. So we get off the bus and meet up with the other 3 dudes at the camping site. We were gonna stay the night there inside tents, but I didn't have one, and neither did the 3 dudes. So we just had one tent, one small tent which belonged to the Christian, and 7 people. Well, actually 6, but still. So yeah, the whole thing was very fucking professionally and thoroughly planned ahead. We didn't have a solution to the problem, so we just ignored it, and the party organizers whipped out the booze and the barbecue. They brought 3 boxes of beers and shared them with everyone. That was nice at least. No one questioned why we were gonna drink in the woods somewhere like 25 kilometers out of town without a place to stay the night. Just a normal day, nothing special. It felt like they would have known that my mom's cottage was nearby and they wanted to go there. Letting them know of its existence seemed the most logical thing to do at that moment since we didn't have anywhere to stay. But I was still gonna wait with it though, because I thought maybe the Russian girl that had yet to show up could still save the day by bringing more tents or something. I didn't want to go there secretly because it was my parents and I wasn't much of a party guy anyway, so didn't want to explain why I hosted a fucking party there secretly. Anyway, so they just hand me a beer, and I start sipping away. I had tried beer before, but I didn't like the taste of it at all. The first can was somewhat tolerable, but then they just hand me another one immediately. One of them said something like, "Oh, you should pour it out into a cup. It will taste better that way." So I do that, and it tastes even worse. So I try to force it down again, and it made my face look like I'd be holding in diarrhea or some shit. So I desperately try to hide that at the same time. I actually managed to finish that as well, somehow, and at this point I'm starting to feel a strange sensation. I'm getting a tiny bit dizzy. I realize I might be getting a little tipsy. I had no clue what being drunk feels like at the time, obviously, and I was a little spooked out because I didn't know what was gonna happen to me. So while I'm on the brink of death trying to drink my 3rd beer, the sky starts getting a little cloudy. It was a nice hot sunny summer day, but that was about to change. I feel some light raindrops falling down, and after a few minutes it's just fucking pouring hard. Now I was in the middle of a random camping site without any shelter, completely fucking soaking wet, while also borderline drunk with 5 random middle school classmates. What a lovely situation! It was time to break the news. I tell everyone that I have a little house nearby and we could go continue our little, whatever the fuck it was, we could continue it there. And no, they didn't seem all that much surprised about it, which even further confirmed my suspicions that they somehow already knew about its existence. Fucking Illuminati, dude. Well, we then pack up and set foot to my family's country house. I don't know what exactly I should call it, honestly. It's like a little house that you can temporarily live in at the summer when the weather is warm, you know. Rich family privileges. I don't actually come from a rich family, so anyway. We started a little journey while trying to cover ourselves up with some fucking plastic bags. And after around 20 minutes of very nice wetness, we arrive at the target destination. No one had visited the place this summer yet, so it was a little bit messy. And weeds were out of control in the backyard, so it looked a bit abandoned, but after cleaning up the inside it looked pretty acceptable, so the
Party was ready to be started.
we didn't have any speakers or anything, but there was like an old ass boombox looking radio from the 90s there which played cassettes and CDs, but we didn't have any, so we tuned it into some epic ratchet party music station and listened to some shitty music from this radio. The fridge there was broken, so we didn't have any place to store the drinks at. The only solution to that would have been drinking that shit quickly, but I didn't want to go through that fucking gross taste again, so I asked what else they had. I actually didn't care because I didn't know shit about liquor, but apparently they also had some hard stuff with them, so one of them pours me some cocktail. It was rum and coke, but I had no clue what it was at the time, and it felt like I was drinking cough syrup or some shit. Like, that's the exact taste. It was still better to me than the beer though, so at least that was good. So yeah, as time went on, people started getting a little more turned up, or lit, as they say these days. Sorry that it was cringy. I also feel different, but I don't realize it at all at first. It might not seem like it from my videos, but I'm a fairly quiet person in real life, and was even more back then. But I just started rambling about random shit without realizing I never do that normally. So these guys know I'm getting drunk and they like what they see, so they pour me a harder cocktail this time. After finishing that one, I'm completely drunk and some retarded dancing is starting to happen. Some retarded pictures are starting to be taken. The straight edge girl was acting the drunkest of us all there for some reason. Just like running around on the couches and I don't know, man. It was fucking weird. Anyway, I joined the edgies outside under a smoke break and they offered me a fucking cigarette. Obviously I accepted it because at this point I feel like I've been officially recruited into the edgy clan. So I start smoking it and it feels like I'm deliberately inhaling a house fire. It tasted like complete ass. But I could not have possibly broken the cool dude image I had going at that moment. So I just finished it and I start feeling a little sick sick. This was also my first time smoking, so 2 edgy things checked off the list. Well, anyway, we go back inside, and shortly after that, the Russian girl arrives. She got there at like 2 a.m. and had to leave at like 6 a.m. because of work, so it was not a very wise plan to come at all, because first of all, she had to pay a massive amount to the taxi driver to get so far out of town at that time of the night, plus she had to go back to town without any sleep with the first bus in the morning and right to work, living the edgiest possible teen lifestyle. But we still appreciated that she showed up, and well, she wishes me a happy late birthday, and some more drinking happens after that. It actually felt more like we would have been celebrating my birthday and not a class reunion, like it wasn't my place. Everyone had wished me a happy birthday, and they treated me like a real edgy kid, and there were only 7 of us, so that's the amount of people I would have invited to my birthday if I was actually celebrating it. Well, anyway, I started slowly falling asleep, and when I woke up in the morning, the Russian girl was gone along with the lesbian and the Christian. I don't know why she took them with her, but it felt like I didn't want to find out anyway, so I was just left there with the 3 OG cool teens who said they're gonna be inviting me to their next parties as well because they thought I was cool. So that was it. I was now officially edgy. Well, all we had left to do at that point was to clean up the place because we had fucking trashed it, and my parents couldn't have found out that I hosted a party there. But yeah, that's basically it. Nothing special happened after that anymore, so that was basically the starting point of the transition from emo Challa to hip and cool Challa. So yeah, nice. Now I've also got a little bit of an announcement to make. You see, I've had my Discord visible multiple times in my story videos before, and an increasing number of people are pausing the video and looking at my Discord tag and adding me. So I decided to create a Discord server. It's really nothing special, but if you just want to chat with me or whatever, then feel free to join it. Link is in the description. Well, anyway, that's it for this time. The moral of the story is here's a fun drinking game. Take a shot every time you hear the word edgy or edge in this video. I wish you good luck, and yeah, bye.